Hello and welcome here to Talk FCB and welcome back here to the channel guys for another video, and welcome back to the Barcelona news roundup, which is basically what I'm going to call this type of video. It's kind of the video that I do when a lot has gone on in one day, there's a lot to report and some things that I want to bring you guys, because I know a lot of people are very interested in some potential developments with our signing of Arthur, and I know as well people are very interested to hear about Ousmane Dembele's recovery, and we got both of those things to talk about today because there are a few things to discuss from the day's events. We are going to start with Arthur and our pursuit of the midfielder from Brazil, 21 years old, controlling midfield player, currently playing for Grêmio in Brazil. I've had a whole video on him. If you do want to know more about Arthur, that video will be in the description for you guys. But basically, this is a player that we're definitely interested in. A lot of us have watched him. A lot of us have seen his style of playing. We're very interested in him coming to the club. So we were just wanting to hear exactly what's going on. Now, a few days ago, Mundo Deportivo reported that Grêmio were finally ready to open negotiations with Barcelona, because up until now, absolutely no contact has been made between Barca and Grêmio themselves. Of course, we met with Arthur. Roberto Fernandes went out to Brazil, scouted Arthur, met with him, gave him a shirt. A lot of photos were taken. You all know how that ended. But between the two clubs, no discussions whatsoever for now. However, this morning, things took a very drastic turn. Marca, of course, the big Madrid newspaper, came out with a report that said basically that Real Madrid were also interested in signing Arthur. And I know a lot of you guys saw the article, and I know already the alarm bells have started ringing, because too many times we've been caught in this kind of situation. We're interested in a player, we want them, but we're not quick enough to act. And if we're not quick enough to act, Chelsea are interested, Real Madrid are interested, other clubs will go there and they will get the player, they'll pay the money, and they'll get the guy we want, and we cannot afford to let that happen. However, in that Marca article, there wasn't really a lot of concrete information. It basically said that Real Madrid scouts were very happy with the reports they had on Arthur. They were happy with the player, they were very interested in seeing him come to Real Madrid, but that was basically about as far as Real Madrid's interest went. The article said that possibly Grêmio would offer Real Madrid Arthur to see if they were interested, but that again was not anything concrete. So I wouldn't panic too much about Real Madrid's interest just yet, but I think it does sort of set the alarm bells ringing, simply because if we do want Arthur, we've got to start thinking how much we want him. If we really do want this guy, if the board see him as a player that can come into Barcelona and make a big impact, we should start thinking about that release clause. 50 million euros, it's a lot of money, but at the end of the day, if we really do believe in him, if we really do want him, we either need to pay that, get the deal done, get it over the line quickly, or we need to start talking to Grêmio and really negotiating and doing that quickly as well. In these kind of instances, you don't have time to sit around, wait for things to happen, wait to see how things develop. You don't have that sort of time with these top young players. Other clubs will come in, they'll swoop, they'll get the player, and we'll be left with nothing. We cannot allow that to happen. Again though, the positive that I would have and the positive that I would take from all this is Arthur himself. Obviously, Grêmio were very unhappy about the whole shirt incident. They weren't happy that their player was pictured in a Barcelona shirt without their consent. We had not spoken to Grêmio. As always, we didn't handle things very well at all. But the one card that we still have, which is in our favour, is Arthur himself. He wants to join Barcelona. He would definitely fit with our style of play. He knows that. His idols play for Barcelona, and that's what he sees himself doing. And he actually came out in an interview which has been very well documented. He was asked about that shirt incident, and he basically gave a lot of information about what he would like to do in his career and Barcelona themselves. And I'm just going to read out a few quotes from that interview from Arthur, the man himself. He said the following, and these are his words, his entire words. "My agent told me that some directors from Barcelona would come to Porto Alegre to get to know me. There's always first contract, but it's in good faith. Nothing to hide here from Grêmio. I didn't do anything behind their back. In the middle of the lunch, they offered me a Barcelona shirt." And he then said, who doesn't want to wear the Barcelona shirt and play for them? It was a photograph that shouldn't have come out, but it's been cleared up now. Grêmio have my economic rights. If there's an official offer, they will have to speak with Grêmio first. If it's a good offer, then they will speak with me to reach a personal agreement. Until then, there's nothing official to report. He said all players dream of playing for Barcelona. My first dream was to sign for a big club in Brazil with an identity. When things work out well, other clubs are going to be interested. That's gratifying for me. One of my qualities is to recognise that that and be grateful for it. I don't forget my origins though. He was then intensely asked about Barcelona, about their interest, about if he wanted to play for us. He then said, in the world of football, you cannot guarantee anything. Football is unpredictable. Look at everything that's happened this year. I can't assure you that I will stay at Grêmio or that I will leave. He denied any agreement with Barcelona, but he did say they didn't talk about wages, they didn't even make me an offer. They treated me well and they were very affectionate with me. I have a contract though with Grêmio. Only if there is an offer and Grêmio accept it will I be at Barcelona in January. I would never leave through the back door. So that tells you everything you need to know. And if that isn't a come and get me plea, I don't know what is. Basically, Arthur there has come out, he's conducted himself fantastically well. He's basically said, I am happy to leave this club. I want to join Barcelona. But he's saying nothing has been done yet. No offer has been made. He's basically saying, why are Barcelona hanging around? Why have they not made an official offer? Because when they can do that, then we can start talking. He clearly wants to join the club. He clearly is happy to leave Grêmio for Barcelona, but he wants to do it in the right way, which is obviously clear. Grêmio has given him a lot. He's been there since he was 14 years old. Obviously he wants to leave in the right way, but he can only do that if Barcelona make that first move, make an official offer, talk with Grêmio first, and then we can talk with the player. Arthur wants to play for Barcelona. If we want him, we have to start getting serious and doing that very soon. Now, believe it or not, there is a bit more news today to discuss for you guys. There was a report from the Daily Mail this morning which linked us to Manchester United defender Daley Blind, 27 years old. He can play at centre-back, he can play at left-back, he can even play in midfield. He's a very, very versatile player. But what I would say about that report is, even though Blind is actually a player that we've been linked with year upon year upon year, even going back to the time that he was at Ajax, I don't really see an awful lot of that story at the moment, simply because it was published by Daily Mail in the UK, which are not a very reliable source. But he is somebody that we have been continually linked with and is very versatile, and we do tend to put midfielders at centre-back, but I wouldn't read too much into that right now. On to Dembele then. We're talking about his training sessions, we're talking about his recovery. The good news is he completed a first team training session today. Last week he was doing partial bits of the first team training. Today he did the full training session. Everything went fine. He is completing his recovery exactly as planned. There were some great pictures that were out today with him and Iniesta. I'm not really sure how his communication is at the moment, you know, how he's able to communicate with everybody. He basically said that he was working on his Spanish, but it isn't quite brilliant yet, but obviously that's something that's only going to improve over time. He's having lessons. Dembele right now though is all of his efforts are going on El Clásico. He is not going to be involved this weekend. He's not even tried to be involved this weekend. The only thought from him is El Clásico, and in that game he would not be expected to start it. If he is going to play any part in El Clásico, it is going to be as a substitute, as an impact sub, coming on in the latter stages of the second half. He is putting all his efforts on that. He's not rushing anything. He's completing his training sessions, and right now everything is going smoothly. He could be involved come the 23rd of December. Other news from today's training, a few things happened. Iniesta and Mascherano both took part in training, and they have been training fine without any problems in the past few days, so everything is sort of leading to believe that those two will be included in the squad to face Deportivo on Sunday. We desperately need Mascherano back. We've only got Piqué and Vermaelen right now as our first choice centre-backs. They're the only fit centre-backs in the squad from the first team, so Mascherano would certainly be welcome back into the first team squad. Iniesta as well, he picked up a bit of a knock a week or so ago. He wasn't fit enough to make our last league game against Villarreal, but he is certainly expecting to be back against Deportivo on Sunday. And finally, one other thing that happened in training today was a player that we actually discussed in my earlier video. Gerard Deulofeu got injured in today's training. He basically took a knock to his knee, a few of the ligaments. It wasn't a serious thing, it was simply a knock, but he is going to be out for 7 to 10 days, meaning he will not be involved against Deportivo, and is a big doubt to be involved against Real Madrid. Whether or not he'd be in the squad anyway, he's been left out very recently by Valverde. He doesn't seem to have the faith of the coach right now. But Deulofeu is going to be injured for at least 7 to 10 days and is likely now not to play until 2018, when, of course, as we discussed earlier, he could end up leaving the club anyway. And on that exact subject, basically on Deulofeu and on that potential January exit, I just want to bring you some quick results of the poll that I did put on my community tab earlier on. Obviously, the poll has only been up for an hour. The video didn't come out too long ago, but I just asked you guys, out of Deulofeu and Alex Vidal, which option of the following would you choose windows in the January transfer window. The options were sell Deulofeu, sell Alex Vidal, sell both of them, or sell neither. And as you can see, the early results do show that people generally don't really want Deulofeu to be forced out before Alex Vidal. The majority right now, 45%, is going with selling both of them, getting both of them gone in January. But if not that, people generally want to see Alex Vidal leave the club. Sell neither has got 9%, so that's the least likely thing that people want to happen. But I think in general and in the comments, people want to give Deulofeu maybe a bit more time, but failing that, both of them going would not be the end of the world, according to you guys. So great to see what you think there. It's a really nice tool, I think, to see your thoughts in a bit more detail. Obviously, we got the comments section, but these polls do let me know very quickly at a glance what you guys are feeling, and that's very, very useful indeed. So that was basically a lot of the news coming out of Barcelona today. I just wanted to bring you that story on Arthur because I know a lot of people were panicking when they saw Real Madrid being linked to him, and obviously we don't want him going to our rivals, we don't want him going to anybody else. If we really do want him, we have to start getting serious. So that's all today's news for you guys. Please leave your thoughts on all the topics I mentioned down below. I always enjoy hearing your comments. Thank you for coming back and watching the videos time after time after time. I really do appreciate your support, and I will see you soon, tomorrow in fact, for the preview for that Deportivo against Barcelona game in La Liga. I'll see you soon, but until then, as always, Vesca el Barça! 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 Barça!